Critical Role cancels a show, Luffy sits down with One Piece creator Oda to talk Season 2, and the Wheel of Time finally casts some fan favorites.
It's about damn time.
Welcome to Fantasy News Friday on the Character Sheet. Before we break down all the week's biggest fantasy and TTRPG news, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep these videos coming? And then, let's dive into some news.
Can't wait.
Critical Role appears to have cancelled Four-Sided Dive, at least for now, or as Robbie Damon put it,
from the cradle to the grave. I was here for 1, I was here for 30. Glad to see you born, glad to see you die.
The show, which was a hangout and discussion of all of that month's events in Campaign 3, lasted for 30 episodes, and was constantly in a state of flux and experimentation as Critical Role producer Kyle Shire, lore keeper Danny Carr, and executive producer Marisha Ray kept fiddling with the format during the show's 30-episode run, often with hilarious results. And while the show may never have fully hit its stride in terms of a constant format, sometimes adding in completely unrelated segments that would later go back to being everything as content videos like episodes spent playing For the Queen or Caper cards, Marisha Ray says that kind of experimentation was sort of the whole point.
There was so much about this show that was a bit of a scramble. We wanted to mix it up. So we were trying to be very experimental. I want to say a massive thank you to our audience who gave us that grace. I know some people didn't like it. I don't care. We had reasons. We had reasons from top to bottom.
The audience for the show started pretty strong, with early episodes having over 500,000 views on YouTube. But later shows would see those view numbers more than halved, although it's hard to say if the show itself was responsible or if it was simply a byproduct of Campaign 3 fatigue, as a lot of critters had issues with the relatively slapdash Campaign 3 towards the middle and the end, and Bell's Hells in general. It's not clear what, if anything, will replace Four-Sided Dive, which itself is basically a replacement for Talks Machina, the popular Critical Role after show for Campaign 2, which was scrubbed from the internet after the host turned out to be wildly problematic and got booted from the Critical Role family. But clearly the cast all love the idea of some form of after show hangout. So hopefully with Campaign 4 looming ever closer, they'll have some time to nail down a more consistent format for a new show to take its place, as they still have tons of room for more content over on Beacon and YouTube.
Good news, everyone!
Iñaki Godoy, the live-action Luffy himself, sat down with One Piece creator Oda in an interview conducted entirely in Japanese without translators to talk about One Piece Season 2 on Netflix, what makes Luffy such a good hero, and more. Godoy, who plays the would-be King of the Pirates, revealed that he just started learning Japanese back in January, which is crazy considering how fluent he appears to be in this interview, which even shocked Oda himself. Oda, the notoriously private creator of the One Piece manga, had his face obscured for the entire video, but did drop some interesting info, including that Season 2 marked his first time touring the actual set and seeing the production of the live One Piece show, and he said he came away very impressed by everything from the acting to the props for Season 2. Oda also revealed that Season 2 was definitely going to be set in the Grand Line, which does seem to confirm they'll be tweaking some of the storyline from the manga, since major Season 2 characters like Robin and Crocodile are part of the Arabasta arc, which is the final major arc before the Grand Line, so there'll be some kind of rejiggering of the timeline there. We also got to find out what inspired Oda to create Luffy, who he calls a perfect child, saying that adults are often crushed by their jobs and lose their freedoms once they grow up and are forced to join society, especially in his native Japan. But as a child at heart, Luffy can do whatever he wants, free from those pressures, and that's the type of hero he wanted to create. You can check out the entire interview on YouTube, but so far it sounds like Season 2 of One Piece, which is just a year away, has the creator's enthusiastic seal of approval.
I love you, Oda-san.
And finally, the Wheel of Time on Prime Video has gotten around to casting some fan-favorite characters in the upcoming third season. The often maligned show has seriously rewritten large parts of Robert Jordan's classic fantasy novels, even incurring some serious regrets from fellow producer and the man who finished up Jordan's novels, Brandon Sanderson, who the showrunners and writers apparently didn't listen to a lot of his feedback when it came to plot elements. But now, 3 seasons in, we are finally getting the rest of Elaine's family in the show. Queen Morghese, Elaine's mother, will be played by Olivia Williams. Her brother, Gawain, will be played by Callum Kerr. Her half-brother, Galad, will be played by Luke Featherton. And Soraya Ogdashlu will play Elaida, the infamous court Aes Sedai. While fans have already missed out on some huge scenes with all of these characters, namely Rand falling into the royal garden and meeting them all in the first place, or Matt's amazing duel with Galad and Gawain, at least these characters have finally made their way into the Prime Video series. Although given the huge amount of changes to the source material, it's unclear what exactly they will be doing in Season 3, given the altered timeline of the show. So will more fan-favorite characters finally help the show get back on track with fans, or will it just be more chances for the show to anger fans by altering more beloved characters? We have less than 3 months to wait to find out, as the Wheel of Time returns for Season 3 on March 13th, 2025. And that's all we have this week on Fantasy News Friday. Let us know what your favorite story was in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.